Payment tracking in the Loan Manager is very powerful. On your dashboard, under the Payments section, a list of your upcoming payments over the next 30 days shows up automatically. When you click on the payment, it takes you directly to the schedule for that payment. So that was the payment for October 4th, and right here on the amortization schedule, there are 3 different links, 3 different actions that I can take with each payment. First of all, under the paid column, there is a no link that I can click to change to yes. Now that payment is showing as paid. On the far right, there is a notes section. If I wanted to create notes for this payment, I just click create, and now I can enter the notes. And the notes for that payment then show up over here. If I wanted to edit those notes, I just click the link again. I can come back and edit those notes. Back on the schedule, let's say that I want to change the amount of this payment. Maybe instead of $626.73, I decided to make a payment of $700 this month. So I just click the amount and I get a confirmation. It says, "You sure you want to modify this?" Yes, that's okay. And now it takes us back to the cash flow screen. And you'll notice it split out the payment that we clicked on, gave it its own cash flow line now. So I enter $700 under the amount. I see the rest of the payments listed here with that last payment that was a little bit different. Only now, since I made an extra payment here, the last payment amount is going to be different. So I click calculate. The Loan Manager does all the calculations and it comes back with the new last payment amount. Everything looks good. Then I click amortize again, and that takes us back to the amortization schedule. You can see that that payment is now showing as $700. It is paid and my notes are still over here. Now let's say that in November I come in here. I'm going to modify this payment now. It splits out to its own cash flow line. I'm going to make an extra payment of $1,700 this month. Well, that's going to change the last payment so that we don't really need that last payment anymore. It will be negative when we perform our calculate. Here's how that works. We click calculate. Now we have a negative payment of $811.15. We paid too much on this loan. Well, that can't really happen. So what we need to come in and do is to modify this last cash flow line. I don't know how many payments it's going to take now to finish paying off this loan. So I take the quantity out of that row and I delete the last payment and let the Loan Manager calculate a new payment. So I leave the quantity field blank here. I delete this row. I click the update button. And then I calculate again to let the Loan Manager figure out the last payment amount. And it comes back with a result that's $1,072.63. Well, that's more than what I'm used to making on my monthly payment. I would like to make one more monthly payment and then have a final payment that's a little bit less. So I just come in here to quantity. I change that from 30 to 31. I'm going to make one more of those payments. I click calculate. The Loan Manager recalculates and comes back with the last payment of $445.90. I like that. So that's good to go. And I could click amortize and go back to the schedule. What if I just click here though and went back to the schedule? Well, we're going to see this warning that there's an amortization required. It's not going to reflect the changes that we made to our cash flows unless this is complete. So if you ever see that bar, just go back to cash flows, click on amortize, and it will update the schedule to be exactly what we want it to be. You can see my $1,700 payment is here now, and everything's good to go. So I can check that payment off. That payment is paid now. Oh, and I just forgot. I made a mistake. What happens now? Is the whole thing going to blow up on you? Oh no. Just go to the History tab. And every time we performed a calculation, the Loan Manager saved the history for our schedule. So let's say I want to go back to what I originally had on this schedule. I can just click the Restore button. Wants to know, am I sure I want to restore this? Okay. We're back to where we started with this schedule. We click the Amortize button, and our whole schedule here has been refreshed. And of course, the notes are gone because we overwrote it from history. But that way, you don't have to worry about making a mistake with working with the cash flows, because you can always recover from history. That's how payment tracking works in the Loan Manager.